Is Partisia going to raise 16 million, or is it going to fail to reach that level like many other projects recently, especially in this current market? Are private smart contracts the next evolution in Web3 and blockchain? In this video, Ian's going to take you through the tokenomics and the vesting, Robin's going to take you through the team and the backers, and I'm going to take you through the overall concept. The main goal of Partisia is to combine the private nature of multi-party computation and the publicness, the openness of blockchain technology. But what is multi-party computation, other than being a big mouthful? Well, multi-party computation allows multiple sources to analyze their data without ever disclosing the underlying inputs or the underlying data. So it's basically knowledge creation without revealing the individual source or the individual data. It allows data to be shared and used privately without the need for trusting anyone or anything. This is all very important for smart contracts. And just a quick recap, a smart contract in its essence is a program that runs on the blockchain with one of the core features that the code can be easily inspected and therefore agreed upon by all parties. But before we get to multi-party computation, we have a thing called a zero knowledge layer or a zero knowledge proof, which is essentially proving something without giving enough information that could endanger whatever it is you're proving. And I know this is all very abstract, so I'm going to try and take it down to a very concrete example. Imagine you have a researcher, let's call him Roy, that is looking for participants in a study, and they are looking for certain attributes, maybe a certain gender, a female, a certain age range, 25 to 50, living in a certain continent, Europe. Then you have users that have these certain attributes. Let's say this person is female, she is 40, and she lives in France. Let's call her Amelie. Using zero knowledge proofs, it is possible for Amelie to encrypt her attributes and give a proof to Roy the researcher that Amelie's attributes match the parameters set out by Roy. So therefore Roy the researcher will know that Amelie fits the parameters but won't know the exact details. aka he'll know that she lives in Europe but not in France. This is the essence of zero knowledge proofs. When more than one user has data they want to protect, you level up the zero knowledge proofs into secure multi-party computation. So let's say you have Roy the researcher encrypt his parameters. So then Amelie learns that she can participate in the study with no idea of Roy's parameters. And Roy will know that Amelie is able to participate but without learning about the individual attributes, except for the fact that she satisfies his parameters. Partisia enables you to leverage multi-party computation to perform some parts of the smart contract in secret, using data that isn't publicly known. Yet you know that the smart contract, the program, is running exactly as it should be because you can inspect the parameters of the smart contract. So essentially it's smart contracts 2.0, allowing developers and companies to utilize smart contracts in a far broader range of applications. Partisia technology allows you to sell the use of the data, but not actually the data itself, which is a distinct difference. If you cannot control your data, and by that I mean have aspects of your data private, the whole decentralized, user-centric model of Web3 completely breaks down. Partisia wants to come in and solve this issue and really build the foundations of a truly decentralized, user-centric Web3 digital economy. I'm going to pass you on to Ian now with the tokenomics.
So starting off on the tokenomics with the previous funding rounds for Partisia, we have 8 fundraising rounds which they completed and raised about $44 million just below. The prices range from 5 cent up to 25 cent, and now the public sale is going to be at 40 cent, which translates to a fully diluted valuation of $400 million. So as I said, they've raised 44 million so far, plus the 16 if they max out the public sale is 60 million raised, which, you know, especially in this market will be an amazing achievement. The average price not weighted for the previous rounds was 12.7 cent compared to 40 cent for the Mpc token in the public sale, and yeah, it ranges down from 5 cents. So actually, you know, the maximum multiplier that you have from the first seed sale is 8x to the public sale, which in fairness isn't terrible. So I'll just take you on to the list of backers now. So here we have the list of backers. There's 27 of them I think I counted in total. You've got Gate.io Labs, KuCoin Labs, which obviously bode well for listings. You also have things like Master Ventures, which Generally, I think from what I know, come in later rounds and kind of are very good at building up the hype and marketing around the project. And then you also have like some, massive a 5.4 billion staking platform in p2p.org. Various different venture capital firms from Hong Kong, the largest crypto VC in Asia, Cosmos Capital, and then some private investors, subsidiary of Turkey's fifth largest bank. I don't know how big that bank would be, but you can make your own guess. And then Moonstake.io, which is the largest staking platform in Asia, as well as Emergo, which is Cardano's ecosystem fund. So without kind of anything that really stands out there, like, a A16Z tier investors in the project, I mean, it's an absolutely extensive list. Also Sidus Heroes there, which if anyone knows is like was a supposedly AAA rated play to earn game. Still, they managed to raise 44 million, which is an amazing achievement. So yeah, that's the list of backers. So just quickly to touch on the token distribution, as you can tell, 35%. I made it out as just less. I think it was 347 million tokens or so were sold privately of the 1 billion. That translates to around 35% going in the private sale. Ecosystem at 20%, team at 15%, the reserve at 5%, which we'll touch on in a minute. As it relates to the utility of the Mpc token, and then the public sale and treasury oddly is put as one tranche at 25%, but if they're selling 40 million tokens at 40 cent and raising 16 million in the public sale, then that means that 4% of the tokens are for public sale and 21% are for the treasury, from the numbers I've looked at anyway. So I found it slightly amusing in the token unlocking schedule. You can see here in the little spiel that they have above it on the sales page, that they were proud to have one of the longest unlock periods for pre-sale investors, which, don't get me wrong, is great. But where they don't have a particularly long unlock period is for the team themselves. And we can see that here when we go to Tokentrak.co, which I'd advise you guys to check out. It was built by a member of our community who's particularly active in our Telegram, Ilian. So yeah, I mean, really cool site. He's adding more and more features to it to the day. You can track your vesting schedules, get alerts for when tokens are unlocked and stuff like that. So yeah, shout out to him. He's doing great work over there with that site. So basically 6-month cliff for everyone, as it shows here. And then, the interesting thing is, I think about this, that, some of the seed sales actually have less vesting. So you can see here in seed sale at 7.5 cent, their vesting is quarterly for 3 years, whereas a 15 cent private, the quarterly vesting, the 10 cent seed, then the quarterly vesting is only 2 years. So there's a bit of variation in that. So obviously, some negotiation went on, I guess, and people were taking larger chunks. And, we usually see the earliest round gets the longest vesting, and then the vesting declines as the rounds go on. That's not what we see here. Team of 15%, they get it after a 6-month cliff as well. Quarterly vesting for 4 years, and of course the public sale, quarterly vesting for 2 years, whether you do it on their own site or through the Trust Swap IDO, where you get a 10% discount getting the tokens for 36 cents instead of 40. So the final point to note here is on the utility of the Mpc token, and this is actually really interesting. Fees for network participation are not actually paid. So, like normally your staking rewards or whatever, or validator rewards will come in the network's native token. In the case of Mpc, they have this bring your own coin, BYOC service. So you can pay fees for, whatever it might be you need to run on the network in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever other cryptocurrencies they might allow to do that. What the Mpc token does is actually, it's like a gateway token. So if you buy a certain amount of them, so you've got 3 types of nodes. A Baker node, you need to stake 25,000 Mpc to run. A ZK node, you need to stake 100,000 Mpc tokens to run. And a BYOC cross-chain node, you need to stake 250,000 BYOC tokens, or Mpc collateral to the bridge. So, it's not, this bring your own coin system is something I haven't really seen before, except maybe in the Pulse chain sacrifice. I don't know if that counts. It might be a bit different, but you'd hope. So yeah, basically these are like the gateway. You have to buy the Mpc token. I've heard different arguments on both sides on this. If you're not getting your rewards in the Mpc token, then that's good because it's not bringing more supply into the network. But initially that will be the case because these reserve tokens are actually used to bootstrap the node providers at the start, or the node runners at the start. So because there's nothing running on the network at the start, much there won't be much in the way of rewards. So they've kind of bootstrapped that by giving this reserve of Mpc tokens to the people running functions on the network until, you know, dApps are built and more things start happening and people get the rewards paid in Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever. So yeah, like, it is interesting. There's two sides to it, and I'll talk about that in a bit. You know, it kind of does serve as perhaps a barrier to entry in some ways, but there are planned utilities beyond this for it. So delegated staking, you know, pre-processing used to speed up zero knowledge MPC multi-party computations, and the storage of cryptography material among a high number of nodes. They also want to use it as utility to construct zero knowledge proofs used to compress information before it enters the blockchain. And finally, and this is the really interesting one, is smart contract staking. So use Mpc tokens as stakes to avoid a smart contract being removed from the blockchain. So a little bit like the idea, I think we saw this on the Internet Computer ICP, where you would use your ICP tokens for, you know, to pay for computational power. But I think this kind of barrier to entry where you have to pay to keep your smart contract running, or at least buy and stake the tokens. You know, I was talking to another member of our Telegram community who joins us on a lot of our Twitter spaces as well, David, about this, and he was saying, you know, if you look at this, like, you know, would you not just turn around to something like Solana where they're going to hand you a grant? You know, why would you want to go to Partisia when fundraising, certainly in this environment, is going to be hard enough as it is? Would you not just want to kind of go somewhere where they're actually going to help you out rather than put a barrier in your way to actually run programs on the network? So, you know, that's something that I guess will only become clear over time. But I do think it's important that you make it as easy as possible for developers to actually build things on your network, as opposed to actually, you know, putting impediments in their way, which that kind of looks like it might be, albeit potentially increasing the utility of the token. Yeah, so that's it on the tokenomics.
The team behind the Partisia blockchain include world-leading cryptographers, developers, and pioneers within the commercial use of zero-knowledge computations and blockchain. The Partisia Foundation contributed to almost 2,000 academic work. They've got over 1,000 mentions in research papers, over 50 commercial applications, and they have 28 developers on board. The team is set up as follows. First off, you've got your world-renowned chief cryptographers and co-founders. Ivan Damgaard. Ivan is one of the founding fathers of the modern hash function as well as zero-knowledge computation. Then we've got Jasper Buus Nielsen, one of the most quoted researchers within the field of zero-knowledge computation, and also works on consensus protocols and microeconomic analysis of distributed protocols. And thirdly, we've got Claudio Orlandi, who has a strong background in protocol design. Moving on to the management team, we've got the CEO, Kurt Nielsen. He co-founded Partisia and CPR. Both companies are pioneers within the use of zero-knowledge computation. While Partisia was behind the first large-scale commercial use of zero-knowledge computations already in 2008. Then we've got Peter Frans Fransen, he's the CTO, and he co-founded Partisia Application and Partisia Infrastructure and has managed software development in complex IT projects for over a decade. Then we've got Brian Gallagher, he's a council member, and he founded Instars.com, the world's first decentralized social network data exchange, fully powered by blockchain and multi-part computation, developed in collaboration with Partisia. And new to the executive suite is Julia Milaescu. She's the CMO and she has 10 years of experience as a senior marketer at PayPal, while she launched crypto as their head of crypto go-to-market. The team has successfully launched 3 blockchain projects across different sectors to tackle key blockchain challenges through zero-knowledge computations. 3 of the most relevant public projects are Instars.com, Siberian Digital, and CPR. You've heard CPR before. It was founded in 2014. It provides cryptology software for online fintech transactions. Partisia brings the infrastructure and applications to the project, while CPR brings the cryptology and key management. So far, Partisia also gained some recognition in the crypto and tech industries by major outlets among them are TechRadar, Nasdaq, Cointelegraph, and CoinDesk. Partisia also created some partnerships to build a better future. They partnered with two charities, the Global Fund and RED. They also partnered with Frax, an algorithmic stablecoin, and Cedar's Heroes, a play-to-earn game.
If you like this content, don't forget to smash that like button. We also did a Twitter Spaces on Partisia, so we can find out what we thought about the sale and if we are going to buy it or not. I've left the links in the description below. Also, if you are into crypto, come down to our Telegram where we rate ICOs, IDOs, NFT drops. We've got a great community of over 3,500 there. I've been Zach. This is Altcoin Edge. I'm out. Boop.